Hi folks, this is Christian. I'm here with my new Tesla Model 3 2021 long range in white on white with FSD. I actually ordered this car on October 20 this year and received delivery on December 26, which was like 3 days ago. So the wait time was about 9 weeks. It took delivery directly in Fremont at the factory. And yeah, so that's the new car. Overall, I'm relatively happy with it, but there is quite a number of manufacturing defects and quality issues with the car that kind of compromise my experience with the car and Tesla as a brand. And this is actually what I wanted to share in the video, all the defects and that I found, or quality issues that I found with my car. So let's get into it. Let's start with the more severe issues. They start actually right here with the passenger side door. So when you look at it from distance, it kind of looks fine, but as you get closer, you notice there is quite a large gap here in the alignment of the trim. So this is probably about 2-3 millimeters higher on the trim itself, but also the door, I could say, is also probably a little bit too high. This by itself, I think, seen this many times on other Tesla cars, and hopefully they can just fix this with some alignment. The bigger, more severe, non-standard issue, I would say, though, is that the door itself isn't closing that well. So when I try to close the door right now, probably get stuck. Yeah, I can see it. So it's actually not closing properly. Also, the window is open, and I can try this again. Happens again. So what you actually got to do is, in order to close this door, you have to really use a lot of force and slam the door like this. And this is really an issue because I had a few passengers in the last days, and every second time or so, when the passengers close the door from the inside or outside, they don't close it properly because, well, they don't know, and then the car yells at me that one of the doors is not properly closed, and I have to tell them, please just close it again. I don't know, it's not great to have a defect like this on a new car, I gotta say that. The next issue is in the trunk. So there is a lot of weird alignment issues around the trunk. It starts here where the trunk itself meets the C-pillar. You can see that the C-pillar panel here is like probably like 2-3 millimeters higher than the trunk panel. So that's why you have like this quite significant gap here. It's quite noticeable once you've seen it the first time. Not great. Again, I've seen a similar issue in some other Tesla Model 3s of the 2021, but oftentimes it was kind of the other way around, that this part was higher and this part was lower. In my case, it's like that way, but let's hope they can fix it. Have a similar issue on this side. On this side, it's mostly like the gap is mostly on this part here only, though. On this side, it's kind of fine, right? You kind of like eases off in this direction. Again, not great, but I guess that's what you get for it when you get a Tesla. The next issue is this. Honestly, like, seems to be super common with the Model 3 2021s. Let me actually get a flashlight here real quick to show this a bit better. So you can see that the rear lights are sticking out way too much. Actually, let's show it on this side. It's more noticeable here. So there's a super large gap between the body and the rear lights. It's probably like 6 millimeters, 7 millimeters. It's quite large, and you can see like also the plastic, because of that, doesn't align from this angle it's not great. I mean, hopefully, I mean, I really would expect him to fix that to some extent, because this is not normal. Um, it's on this side, it's a bit less. Um, when I actually picked up the car, I thought maybe this is like designed that way, because like so many of the other Model 3s in the parking lot in Fremont had the same issue. But after coming back and looking at some older Tesla Model 3s in the apartment complex, which I live in, and also watching some videos online, I noticed that this is not normal. Like, this shouldn't be that way. Yeah. Next issue is, and that is, I would say, not a biggie. When you look at this paint section here, gotta get a bit closer. You see there is a grain or something like that embedded within the paint. But it's like, because it's so much at the bottom in the part where you don't really look at, and it's usually dirty, I would say it's not something that needs to be fixed necessarily. It's definitely not great, but it's not like, it's probably not worth to like repaint this entire panel. So probably just gonna leave that. And the next issue is when you go to the inside, the rear driver's side seat has a few creases. So you notice those creases. This was really like it came from the factory. And there's also some creases here. Also, this is how it came from the factory. None of the other seats have this. I also didn't see this in other Tesla Model 3s so far yet. I don't know, maybe they can swap out the entire bench, because I don't think they can just fix that part. They probably have to swap out the entire bench. And lastly, the issue is here with the trim, the headliner. You notice there's a little bit of a gap here, about 2 millimeters, where the trim parts, the headliner parts don't properly align. Or on the other side, for example, it aligns much better. It's pretty much perfect, I would say here. And also, it's kind of a weird thing, funny thing in a way. You notice that green sticker, this green tape. That's actually how it came from the factory with that sticker. I didn't take it off yet. And then you can notice there is like this trim here doesn't close properly. It seems a bit too long or something like that. So it's kind of getting wavy here a bit. I wonder actually if this green tape was something that quality control at Tesla marked as a defect, but then nobody ended up really fixing it. They just left the tape there. Not sure. I also noticed there's some tape here actually at the windshield on the inside. Although I don't really see a defect there, so I guess that's fine. Yep. And yeah, this is pretty much all the, I would say, yeah, issues I found that bother me a bit. There is also some gaps here by the left headlight, where like this panel gap here is a lot bigger than it is on this side of the headlight, whereas this headlight seems to be very well aligned. The gap here and here is almost exactly the same, very well aligned. On this side it's not very well aligned, although it's not something I noticed that much, because it's like just all black and it blends in with the border of the headlight itself. So not sure if they need to really fix that, or I'd probably ask them too, but yeah. And lastly, what I wanted to mention is there's one thing I noticed with a lot of the Tesla Model 3s in the factory, and also somebody posted that online, or actually multiple people posted that issue online, that the Model 3 2021s oftentimes have a very large gap between this black part and the panel here. And in my case, that gap is actually, it's fine, I would say.
You know, if I look at it from this angle, it looks a bit big, but it's not compared to what I've seen online in other Model 3s at the factory. This is actually pretty fine. On the other side, actually, this part is very very even. It's really good here, I think. In general, I gotta say that the whole alignment around the driver's side door and generally the side here seems to be really good. Fortunately, that's the side that I'm be seeing most of the time because I'm driving the car. But it would be great if Tesla would just have good quality all around the car and not just in specific regions. Yeah, that's all I had to say. Hope you liked that video. Post in the comments if you found similar issues in your Tesla Model 3 2021 or in earlier models, what you think about them. Did anybody reject delivery because of issues like that? How did the service center react to them? Yeah, I'm definitely going to post another video in a couple of days to update you guys on what the service center said about fixing these issues. I have an appointment in 2 days. So, hope you liked the video. Have a good one.